Right. So this is our brainstorming session that we had where we came up with all of our ideas. So we did thank you cards, day interviews, pay velocity. We had rehab residents do recognition of the staff, adopt a nurse with interest inventories, and then of course we have our employee appreciation committee that comes up with all of our monthly ideas. The keys of this is implementation, inclusiveness, and simplicity. So for our story, we had Tamika, Sindel, Stephanie, Jay, and myself. So our description, we said being available and seeing throughout the community, listening to the staff, what they like and don't like, staying in touch with all of the staff, not just leadership. Each practice used by the team created open communication, recognition of the individual, and a sense of relaxed community with high professional standards. Our why, each tactic offered encouragement to recognize each other instead of only being recognized by leadership, and that makes it sustainable. The difference, overall positive reaction from the staff. Residents feel more comfortable and better cared for when staff is happy, and stable staff makes everything easier. Our measurements were retention rates and satisfaction surveys. Many of our activities have little to no cost but high impact on care and retention, so the savings become significant. And the keys, celebrating positives as often as possible and staying consistent, following up on all concerns even when you can't do anything about it, and recognizing the challenges and acknowledging the issues even when you can't fix it, and to set the example for everybody. So to keep it going, we said it's like a fire. You start it and it will keep growing and spreading on its own.
Wonderful. I like it. Great job. Ma'am? Don't say a word. Pictures. So we, our group, it was revolved around communication via huddles and rounds, and staff morale. So we had Christy, Vicki, Jennifer, Casey, Sheila, myself, and majority of us are from PCSC. We do have one from the Heritage at Loman. So we discussed in the mornings making huddles and rounds with all residents and staff. And so how important that is to make sure that we're actually going room to room with the residents, ensuring that all their needs are met. They don't have any concerns. And then of course with the staff, meeting them where they are. The room is very quiet right now. Then we also discussed our last drawing here, thanks to Miss Vicki. This is an appreciation card, a thank you card. A woot woot cart, where we take that around and we give out different Circes. It can be candy bars. This week, Somerville says they're doing a football theme, so they're going to have hot dogs and chili and those kinds of things. And so there's a fund for that, and then each department signs up for a month, and they take it around to each area of the building, or the 3 different buildings, I guess. Staff reaction, so they're very appreciative. They learn to expect it, so they expect that you're going to be making rounds, and the residents come to expect that as well, which then leads to stability and predictability amongst the staff. How it impacts us, we have less grievances and complaints. That's for both staff and residents. Of course, when you're making rounds and you are meeting them head on, then you're able to sometimes eliminate any grievances and complaints, and sometimes find issues before they even arise. Decreased call out usage, so that makes for more positive outcomes for your residents as well as your staff, and decreases falls. So the more you're present, of course, the less needs they're going to have in reaching out or trying to get up on their own, causing falls. How do we measure that? Pull call out reports, one-to-ones with staff, so asking them how it's going. Is there anything that we could do better, anything they'd like to see implemented? And then satisfaction surveys is something new that we've started with our residents. So that's a way that we can measure how we're doing as well. The cost is minimal, so small gifts, that comes through our staff meetings as well, with gift cards, obviously the cart that we talked about, And then, of course, decreased hospitalization rates. When patients are satisfied, when we're meeting their needs, we're making rounds, we're decreasing falls. Obviously, we don't have to utilize our hospitals. Keys to success: consistency, of course, with change. Everything
It's a little hard. Not everybody embraces change. So being consistent, making it fun and enjoyable, that will also help to keep it going. Some advice, stay positive, stay persistent with the change. So just because it's not comfortable doesn't mean that it's not gonna be successful. So keep at it, and then be approachable. So make sure that you're available to your staff and accepting of feedback.
So topic was HR and retention of staff. These are our people here. So we started with intentional hiring and leadership training for a very long while. People were just, I know we were hiring someone to fill a need so that we didn't have to get on the floor ourselves or hire agency to use that. So by not hiring just anybody and not saying yes too quickly, we're hiring the right people for the job, and the retention is better and the turnover is much better as well. Then we also have extended orientation, so making sure that new staff is getting proper training and not just thrown out on the floor to figure out how to do stuff on their own. Communicating with leadership, I would let the supervisors know Cindy is a brand new CNA, and let's make sure she feels supported, and this is her first job, and we need to make sure we keep her because we hired her for a reason. We didn't just say yes to anybody, we said yes to Cindy. Empowering your staff. Use a peer mentor program where you assign a new employee to one specific nurse or CNA, whatever their function or role may be. That peer reaches out to them before they're hired, their first day, at a week, at a month, whatever intervals that your community wants to set it up at. And then peer interviews, bringing CNAs in on the CNA interviews and nurses in on the nurse interviews. They have a little bit, the current staff has a little bit more weight in the game where they want them to be successful and not run them off, as we all know that sometimes nurses can eat their CNAs too. So they tend to do that less if you engage them in the activity. And then helping staff create meaningful relationships, which is part of that peer mentor program. That person that is your mentor is your person. So if you have a question or you're concerned about something, that's who we would hope that you would go to. Checking in, stay interviews, following up with your staff, the new staff especially, say, what do you need? Are you okay? Can I get you anything to make your job easier? Those types of things. And then employee surveys. In our HR system, you can send a survey out to somebody after 30 days, and it'll say, questions can be something along the lines of, are you happy here? Did you get enough information about this company before you started? And if somebody answers in a neutral manner or in a not positive manner, you can follow up with them before it becomes an actual issue. So all these things here, that's benefits equal quality outcomes, cost savings, and staff stability. So the quality outcomes, you have employees that are engaged and actually want to take care of their residents. Less reportables, less complaints, less wounds, all those things. And then cost savings, you're not turning over your staff constantly. So the hours that it takes to train a nurse, TB, Hep B, urine drug screen, all those things are reduced. And then your staff is stable. These things have actually helped with our turnover rate, which is great. And that's it. Great job. Good job.